Spokane celebrates a century of splendor with its Looff Carrousel at Riverfront Park. Marking its 100th birthday in July 2009, the carousel has weathered massive changes in fashion, economy, and culture. In 1909, women wore corsets. A refrigerator cost $6. There was a place called Natatorium Park, and a man named Charles Looff.
He created the first carousel at Coney Island to coincide with our nation's Centennial. And then he went on to create the Coney Island style of carousel carving. Coney Island style is what we have, in that it's got lots of gold, lots of jewels, and the embellishment, which he was a trained furniture maker, and it was the style of upholstery in those days. Looff began at the same time Spokane did, and then when we were really booming, Natatorium Park had evolved, and then he stepped in to finance this because of the recession of 1909, and gifted it to his daughter and her husband.
The carousel became an icon at Nat Park. Generations of riders have thrilled to its music and grandeur. But by 1968, the times, they were a-changin'.
In the 60s, when Natatorium Park was kind of breathing its last because times had changed, our form of entertainment had changed, cruising at, I think it was Panda Drive-Ins, was the new entertainment for the youth and whatever. The city of Spokane was kind of stagnant at that time as well. And the businessmen and King Cole came up with the concept of the World's Fair. And about the same time, the grassroots movement was really gaining speed to save the carousel and put it somewhere in Spokane, although all the rest of the rides were being sold. So it just kind of keeps plugging along with Spokane's history.
After Expo 74, the carousel was brought to its new home at Riverfront Park. At the beginning of the 1990s, after 80 years of use, the carousel was showing signs of wear. A major effort was launched to repair and repaint the carousel from top to bottom. Engineers, artisans, and volunteers poured their time and energy into rejuvenating Spokane's favorite ride. Their work produced a structurally sound and lavishly beautiful landmark. Now, nearly 20 years later, the sights of the carousel are still enthralling, and so are the sounds. The music is provided by the same band organ that came with the carousel.
This organ is really special to Spokane because we've had it for 100 years. And most of the tunes that you hear on some of these rolls go back, in fact, to the 20s and 30s. So you're hearing music that you don't normally hear anywhere else. So the little kids that come to this and the teenagers that come to ride this are hearing pieces of music that they've never heard before. They don't hear it on the radio, they don't have it in their record collection, I'm sure, especially the cute tunes out of the 20s and 30s and World War II.
The Carousel's century celebration is commemorated with several events and with a book written and illustrated by Nona Hengen, an artist from Roselia. Entitled Carousel Odyssey, Nona's book tells the carousel's story as seen through the eyes of two of its horses.
And these two horses tell about their creation at Looff's factory in New York, in the Bronx, at the turn of the century, the Victorian era. And then they go through all the eras of American history, the Great Depression, World War II, and the decline of the carousels, and they were cast off for many years, and then they were resurrected and brought back. And the carousel movement becomes very popular, and people are looking for these, and now we have this antique, rideable form of art. I'm watching some of these tykes today riding, and my parents took me to the Natatorium Park, and I rode some of these horses, so it's kind of fun to make a story out of their experiences.
Betty Largent, another local artist, is in charge of restoration and preservation of the carousel.
When I first started, I was like every observer. The carousel was beautiful, and I got that wow when I walked in the door, and that's what we strive for. If we do our job right, we make the carver look good, and the carousel's a wow. But if we don't, then they're going, oh, there's something wrong with this carousel. But I got to really looking at the carousel, not as a writer, but as a painter. And there were certain things that laid out with the carousel that Looff had really developed well. Every other row was white, which made the colored horses even stand out more. And the white horses, they were color coordinated with the jewels. New carousels work really hard to gain what we have naturally. We have community ownership because of what it's meant to us. Our first ride, our first kiss, proposals. I'm always surprised at the amount of wedding proposals have taken place through the years on the carousel. There's this connection in the community.
Something I've noticed in all the years I've been down here, I watch grandparents and great-grandparents sit on the bench and watch their grandchildren or great-grandchildren ride a horse that they probably rode when they were children. That's the significance of celebrating 100 years of a beautiful machine.
Thank you for riding the Looff Carrousel.
If you have an idea for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, 3911 South Regal, Spokane, Washington 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS Public Television.